Yo, what's up guys? In this video I want to talk about what to play on Engineer in dungeons in 2025, more specifically what templates to use for dungeon tours. The last video I made of this sort is now over a year old, and yeah, the reason for me taking so long to update it, well, there are multiple reasons. Reason number one is, to be honest, this is my third time recording this video. I'm slowly going insane. I'm kind of like a perfectionist, I guess, and I just wasn't happy with the stuff I was producing, like the two tries before this. I did over the last 2 months. But today, fuck it, I'm gonna raw dog it. I don't care. I want to get this video out, and I'll just stop getting in my own way. That's reason number one. Reason number two is there simply haven't been a crazy amount of changes to Engineer in dungeons since, honestly, since HOD. Because crazy thing, guys, if you stop releasing elite specs that completely change everything and just release weapons that are, in the case of Engi, a support weapon in the short bow and the Condi weapon in the spear, chances are not a stuff has changed for us in dungeons, which is a shame. But at the same time, how much are we even allowed to complain? Because Engineer was insane the last time I made a video like this for dungeons, and it still is insane. So, you know, it is what it is. Would be nice to have some new tools, but some new stuff to play around with. But you know, it is what it is. Still, since last time, I have made some changes to certain templates. There have been some new stuff, especially with with Soto and with Jante Wiles. The introduction of relics have for sure made some changes, or have led to some changes in templates and the setup. In fact, the changes are so big now with relics in the mix and relic precasting becoming a thing. Also quickness precasting being a thing for like a long time now, that I want to make a separate video about that. And in this video I just simply want to talk about the templates themselves. So yeah, since it's a little bit more tryhard stuff, you know, the relic precasting and the quickness precasting, I just want to talk about it in a separate video. This video is simply going to be, we're simply going to talk about the templates themselves. Yeah, after saying this, if you're into dungeons, that's cool, that's awesome. If you're not, then I mean, it's not too late to become cool, you know, to start getting into them. They're a lot of fun, they're a lot of gold. I highly recommend checking them out. They're a very unique piece of content in this beautiful game. Anyway, let's start with the first template. Well, before, I guess I should say, I'm using 5 different equipment templates right now, and I'm using 8 different build templates. And before you guys go crazy now, oh my god, a crazy amount of templates, what am I gonna do? I condensed them down to 2 equipment templates and 3 build templates, which I consider, you know, basic templates you should kind of get, and everything after this is kind of like additional, more niche tryhard stuff that you should get if you want to, you know, get more into it. But you know, starting off, I think the base set of templates is enough for you, and that's convenient because obviously 2 equipment and 3 build templates is the normal amount of templates you get on a fresh character. Yeah, with all of this being said, let's dive into the first template, which is still, like in the last video, gonna be the Quick Scrapper. Quick Scrapper, extremely good build. Let's just quickly go over what we are playing. On this equipment template for the Quick Scrapper, we are playing full Berserker, Scholar Rune, simple old school. We are using a hammer. Full Berserker, obviously, I think I said that. We still use the Fireworks relic. Just a good relic. We proc that with Hammer 5 and Nade Barrage. Usually Hammer 5 most of the times. But Nade Barrage triggers it as well. Also make sure you have an Aqua Breather on this template, because this is the template we're going to use for underwater combat. And, you know, an ascended underwater weapon with the proper relics for Honor of the Waves. The build template part of this is nothing special. If you know, like, Quickscraper a little bit, simple stuff, nothing crazy. I really like Explosive Temper over Aim Assisted Rocket. Aim Assisted Rocket is technically a little bit more DPS, I think. It's like 200 more DPS, I don't know. And it's an additional blast sometimes, but I feel like in dungeons sometimes you also get into combat with it, like even though you kind of don't want to be in combat, you know, kind of want to stealth past some stuff. So I just think Explosive Temper, I don't know, just a more chat trait, guys. Yeah. Anyway, why is Quick Scrapper so good? Number one, we have an insane amount of CC. We have Blast Gyro, we have Mine, we have Hammer 5. We literally break bosses almost, you know, by ourselves. We have an insane amount of burst besides that anyway, you know, like just the Engi kit is just great, like mines, we can precast them. We obviously can also precast Blast Gyro. And some good burst with Hammer, Nade Barrage, all of this good stuff. We have access to super speed, which is obviously super nice in content like dungeons that's so reliant on actually getting around quickly, right? Not just fighting, but just moving in general. Movement is a big part of dungeons, as you guys know. We have easy access to stealth with the gyro, which is super nice, you know, no reason to blast it. You can blast it, but it's a smoke field obviously, but you know, no reason to needing to blast it. You just hit that one button, boom, everyone is stealthed. Super useful. And with the recent changes to kinetic accelerators, where not only blast and leap finishers give us quickness, it's also whirl finishers, which means in our case Hammer 2 mainly. And on top of this, it got changed where it's not only quickness that you gain using any of those finishers, it's also might. So with this build, you're just gonna shit out a crazy ton of quickness and might now without even trying, honestly. So I think it's just like the best basic all-rounder build. And if you just want to get one build to blast in dungeons, you're wondering, you know, what build on Engineer I play in dungeons? Like Quick Scrapper all the way, in my opinion. Before anything else. You know, we have a blast in mind. Blast gyro is a blast. Function gyro is a blast. Hammer 3 is 2 leap finishers. Electro whirl is a you know, well, it's not a blast, but it's a whirl finisher and kind of creates now extra might and quickness. It's just good. And on top of that, for pucks, we are Scrapper. You know, we have Barrier naturally. We have Hammer 4, we're just a sturdy class that's kind of hard to kill. So yeah, just a good build overall. Let's dive into build number 2, which is going to be the Skip Scrapper. Again, a Scrapper build, but this time for skipping and also for precasting. You see the name Skip Precast 1, that's the template name. Let's go over the, you know, the equipment first and the build, and then let's talk a little bit about how this works and why do we use it and all of this good stuff. So this template is full diviner. So yeah, everything diviner. We have leadership rune for maximum boon duration. I'm using pistol shield and rifle with both with celerity sigils, you know, major and superior. This is for chesting, and we will talk about chesting in the before mentioned precasting video. The weapons are kind of optional in my opinion. Like you should have rifle because it's a skip template, and rifle 5 is kind of like, you know, it's a nice movement skill first of all, and it's also really useful for certain skips. But you know, you could, instead of playing pistol shield, I like the pistol shield for a certain thing I do in our tours. But you could also play short bow, better for my generation. But you know, might these days is kind of like you have so much might anyway. If you play 2 scrappers with gyros, you have a shit ton of might. Anyway, right here I use the Brawler relic, and that's because, as I said earlier, it's not just a skip template for me, it's also a precast template, my first precast template. If you don't care about precasting, then this relic slot is kind of optional for you, and you can kind of play whatever you want. You could play Chronomancer relic, and making you a gyros just give a little bit more quickness, because they are, you know, gyros are considered whales. You could play Unseen Invasion for a little bit more stealth. You could play Rivers relic or whatever it's called for alacrity and dodge. It's optional. You have like it's you're free choice here of what you want to play if you're not precasting relics like I do. Anyway, let's talk about the build a little bit. Not much to point out here. Pretty much this right here, Gadgeteer, is the most important trait. Giving, for example, our rocket boots more range and also super speed attached to it. This trait right here, we just gain swiftness by going into a kit, which is like usually medkit for me. This right here is also a trait worth to mention, because it's if we use our elite, we can dodge and then we can get a cooldown back on it, which can be useful. But yeah, so why do we need a skip template and not just, you know, because we have already a scrapper template, a quick scrapper, which already gives us super speed to get around quicker. So why do we need this template? So in my opinion, or well, not just in my opinion, but that's just fact, dungeons are most of the time about getting around quick. Like, it's not a lot about the fighting. Like, in a dungeon tour, you do like 15% of fighting and the rest is just getting around quick. So it only makes sense, in my opinion, to have a dedicated template for this, you know, with dedicated skills set up for you to get around quickly. At the same time, obviously, also really nice for skipping into if you are into this kind of stuff. In my opinion, you should be, because I mean, it's just so much more fun, guys. It's just so much more fun to go quick and not just, let's say, you know, we have to do it restricted. Let's go slow, fun. Sorry, I'm poking around. I'm having a little bit of fun here. That's totally fair if you prefer to play the way like this. I just disagree. Anyway, those are kind of like the reasons why we want to have this template. You know, just to be able to zoom around quickly with Executioner X, and then also Choya. Of course, you need to be careful how to use Choya, and you know, we have good access to stealth. Rocket boots, also amazing for skips, as I said. Also really nice to get around quickly from A to B. Even more stealth here on Elixir S if you know, the gyro is not enough. And then of course, it's dungeons. It's a lot about bringing the right utility for the right situation. So there is some, you know, you could swap some stuff around here. Swap in Thumper Turret. Here's an extra blast. Boom. We can swap in Bomb Kit. You know, and now we have another smoke field we can blast if we need more stealth for somehow. So on and so forth. Elixir R. We have a revive here for an NPC, possibly, you know. Knock yourselves out, guys. It's a lot of skill expression lies in this right here, you know, how you use your whole kit, you know, properly. We have another block here if we would need it, if, you know, the shield 5 is not enough. But this is kind of like my standard setup. I like it this way. Bunch of boons here. Condi cleanse on medkit, super useful. But yeah, that's kind of the quick scrapper. Sorry, the skip scrapper. Let's move on to the next template. And the next template is going to be another scrapper, guys. Woohoo! And it's going to be the power scrapper. So this right here, let's talk about the templates first again. This, we're going to use the same equipment template that we used for the quick scrapper. So it's the exact same template. So we're just adding a build template right here now. And this is also, you know, rounding out the basic set of templates. This way we have 2 equipment, 3 build templates. So we use the exact same stuff as the quick scrapper. The hammer as well. It's pretty much also build-wise the exact same as the quick scrapper. Only one trait is different, and that's this trait right here. You know, this is kind of kinetic accelerators makes you a quick scrapper. Applied force makes you a power scrapper. And I personally like having 2 different templates for this. You know, dungeon tour gameplay, it just becomes so fast at some point where changing this manually, in my opinion, is not fun. And I like just having keybinds for it like this, and I can swap between it on the fly and as I need to. Let's talk about power scrapper a little bit. First of all, if you're playing, you know, casually with pucks and stuff, I would only play this if you have another source of quickness. So if you have another quick scrapper in your party or any other class who provides quickness, and you know, we obviously don't need 2 quickness providers in 5-man content, then it's time to go to power scrapper. And Power Scrapper, let me tell you guys, is pretty insane. This is kind of like our basic DPS template we want to use in as many places as possible. It's kind of like our go-to DPS template if you have the chance to use it, and we are not kind of required to play Quickscrapper and provide quickness. Applied Force is just an insane trait. We gain an extra 30 power for every might stack we have, which means, like in level 80 or on level 80, one might stack is 30 power, which means we gain an extra 30 power for every 30 power, which means we have effectively 50 might stacks. And if you know a little bit about Guild Wars 2, like 25 might stacks compared to 0 might stacks, that's a big difference. And yeah, turns out that 50 might stacks compared to 25 might stacks is also a huge difference. It's 750 power, which is insane. And if you think about it now, where dungeons are often low, like scaled down areas, where all of these stats here are reduced, this right here is never reduced. You always gain 30 power for each might stack. Meaning that Power Scrapper in low level dungeons is even more value compared to, like all the other DPS builds around you, because you always get this insane injection of DPS through this trait. Yeah, and besides that, we obviously benefit of all the amazing things I said for Quickscrapper already. We have good CC, we have insane burst through mines and all of this stuff, and even here we have easy access to Sneak Gyro. Just an insane build damage-wise, if you know what you're doing. Yeah, nothing really more to say about this. Let's dive into the first optional template, in my opinion. Well, optional, the first more advanced, niche, whatever you want to call it, template. That, in my opinion, not everybody should get, but if you are at some point, you just like to improve further and further. You're into dungeons now a little bit. There are places where the 100 Heat Holo, the Overheat Holo, is just better damage than the Power Scrapper. There are few places, which saddens me to say, because I really like Holo. I think it's an insanely fun elite spec, very nice designed elite spec. And I'd like to play it in more places, but Power Scrapper is simply insane, and Holo has some downsides. We're gonna go over them in a second. And again, guys, we're gonna use the same equipment template as we used for Quickscrapper and Power Scrapper. And we again gonna use the hammer. This is also the template, if you decide to get it, I think is best for underwater. Let's look at the traits. Nothing special. Again, I think Explosive Temper is just nice over Aim Assisted Rocket. And right here, I just prefer this trait right here over the Barrier trait, because, we are in dungeons. Shit is supposed to die. You usually see it. It dies. Boom. Have a nice day. Move on. So we don't really need Barrier. There are theoretically certain, situations where it wouldn't be terrible, but generally speaking, it's just nicer to have super speed on your Holo too. And yeah, Overheat Holo, so PBM obviously. So let's talk a little bit more about how this compares to Power Scrapper. So as I said before, Power Scrapper is overall the template that's overall simply better in more places. There are certain places where this deals more damage though. Generally speaking, Power Scrapper is more bursty. So what I mean by bursty in the context of dungeons and dungeon tours, optimized dungeons, is when a fight is around 5 seconds, less than 5 seconds even, Power Scrapper is simply better burst than Holo. If the fight is more around 10 seconds, 11 seconds, Holo gets more beneficial, because the Holo burst is simply more drawn out, I guess you could say. You have it's a little bit more delayed, like, just drawn out. Drawn out, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like, Power Scrapper burst at one point like super hard, and then you're kind of like downtime waiting for your cooldowns to come back to then burst again super hard on like preferably the next boss. Holo is has just a little bit longer bursting window, which makes it better on longer bosses. So especially like bosses, later in the 2 and higher level dungeons, COE, for example, Honor. Holo has some spots there where it's just better than Power Scrapper. The other reason why it's also nice to have this template is if there are how do I explain this? If there are 3 bosses in short succession, it's in my opinion just nice having the option to play Power Scrapper on the first boss. We're gonna use all the Power Scrapper cooldowns on the first boss. Then we're gonna play Holo on the second boss, because Holo obviously has some unique cooldowns to Holo, right? Like the Holo Forge skills, Blade Burst. Those skills are not shared with Scrapper, obviously. So we can, utilize those skills fully on the second boss. And meanwhile, all of the other skills we need for Scrapper come back off cooldown. So on the third boss, we can play again Power Scrapper, and then, have all our skills off cooldown and fully burst again on Power Scrapper. And by, kind of like weaving through different templates like this, I think that's a great way to optimize like damage here and there. It goes so far that I play on this equipment template, as you maybe saw earlier. I play Sword Pistol, and then if you on the first boss you play Power Scrapper, you use your hammer skills, then you can play Sword Pistol, even though it's worse than hammer. Just generally speaking on Overheat Holo, like you want to play hammer theoretically, but if you do this like 3 bosses short succession kind of thingy, you could use those skills now, and then again third boss you go back to Power Scrapper, and you have all your hammer skills back up, and you can burst again like super hard this way. That's a really important kind of usage of this template as well, because it simply gives you more options. Yeah, let me think. Is there something else I want to say about this template? I mean, a downside of this template obviously is as well that you have to manage heat, which can be annoying. And it's just, another, I guess, upside of Power Scrapper, and why Power Scrapper is just better. Because you don't have this additional resource management attached to it. You can just, you can just burst on Holo. You kind of always need to prepare the heat to burst and to burst properly then. But yeah, that's all there is to say about this template. Let's move on to the next one. And the next template is another Holo template, and it's the 150 Heat Holosmith, which is kind of like a similar situation to what we had with Quick and Power Scrapper, where it's just 1 trait difference, and this right here is the exact same. We again gonna use this equipment template, full Berserker Scholar Rune, On this template you usually use the Sword Pistol mainly, not the hammer. And again, as you can see, similar situation to what we had earlier with Power Quick Scrapper, where it's just 1 trait difference. Again, you could not have this template and just swap the traits manually. I like having this template just so I'm able to, swap between them with hotkeys. Why do we want this template? This template is a lot more niche than the 100 Heat Overheat Holo. This template is very useful in a few cases, though. It's mainly used for when you know that you're going to be in a long there's going to be a long period where you are in combat. At the same time, you don't really want to play Quick Scrapper, because Quick Scrapper exactly like Power Scrapper is bursty. You do your burst, then there's a lot of nothing. So in situations where you are in combat for a long time, for example, good example is always TA at the start. You kill the small worms, you kill the big worm. You are right there for having like, you need to kill all the worms, then the big worm. It's a lot of like, you need to kill a lot of stuff. You need to do consistent damage over this period of time. I really like this template for this. And that's kind of it. And then there's one more reason why you would want to have that template, and that reason is a utility reason. Let's say I want to play actually the Overheat Holosmith, the 100 Heat Holosmith. but I find myself having too much heat. I can literally just swap to the 150 heat template, let the heat cool down, and then swap, you know, to the overheat template, and then I'm fine. That's, I guess, another small little niche use of this template, which also makes it just convenient to have. Yeah, I'm running Elixir U again here on this template. You know, just as I said, it's for drawn out durations of combat, getting the extra quickness from Elixir U, which is also just a 20-second cooldown nowadays, is nice. We get even more quickness from Radiant Arc. Yeah, really niche build, but nice to have in certain situations. Yeah, and that's all to say about this template pretty much. Let's move on to the next one. And the next template I want to talk about is, well, it's the Condi Mech template. Woo, guys, he's talking about Mech. Who doesn't love Mech? I love Mech. I'm kidding, guys. I'm not a big Mech fan. Everyone, or well, people who know me know that. This template also is really niche, and if you're just, you know, if you're watching like my tour POVs videos, first of all, if you do, then that's pretty chat, and thank you. You will notice that I never use this template. And that's simply, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the gear first. We are full Viper, Trapper Rune, Fractal Relic, and right here we are using our new weapon. Woo! The spear. I play Bursting Earth here. I also still have the pistols, since they are ranged. This is melee, obviously. So first of all, the spear is simply an upgrade over the pistols, damage-wise. So, you know, that's nice, I guess. The build, generally speaking, I said this in the last video I made. This build it's for merging SE and COF and soloing the respective bosses there, you know, Nock and the Drake dude in COF. The Drake. I don't know if this is optimal. This just works for me. You can swap some stuff around here. It's would be probably more DPS to play certain kits here instead of, you know, like play more kits, flamethrower, whatever. I don't know. This works for me. You know, I like playing this. I like playing this. You can play like this for more might. I just like playing this. Works for me. Gets the job done. It's just nice having this template available because sometimes it's simply nice to have this mech dude tanking stuff for you. Can't deny that, even though I don't like the spec. It can be useful at times. Another reason why it's nice to have at least one mech template in your you know, set of templates you have easy access to is because mech has a blink, which we otherwise don't have on Engi, and the blink in dungeons can be pretty useful, guys, to blink over certain triggers and stuff. So yeah, that's another reason why you would want to have this template. But yeah, if you run a more trial optimized tour, both of those merges I was talking about, SECUF, it's more optimal if they are done by Thief than by you and Engi. But especially, you know, I know not everyone is, well, sadly, not a lot of people do tours and stuff on a lot. And, you know, for most people that just, you know, do some dungeons, want to maybe, you know, want to merge CUF, want to merge SE. This build is really useful to just simply making killing the those bosses very nice and easy. Yeah, spear melee weapon. You know, sometimes it can be nice to just be ranged and let the mech tank. So that's why I still have the pistols on. But yeah, as I said, spear just more damage. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about this template. Let's move on to another mech template. Why not, guys? Which is the, well, sort of Alacrity Mechadist template. I'm not sure what to call it. It's another precast template, guys. Let's go over the gear first. It's a precast template. I already said it, which means it's full Diviner leadership rune. Right here, I'm using the short bow. You know, as I said earlier, viable precast weapon. Again, with celerity sigils on both weapons, because this is also where we're going to chest. And here I'm using the claw relic. So I didn't touch on this earlier, but why do we have so much boon duration? You know, we are overcapping boon duration hard like this. You know, we are in LA right now. It's a level 80 area. We have 100% boon duration. But a lot of the dungeons, as also mentioned earlier, are low level. So we just want to have as much boon duration also in lower level, as high of boon duration also in lower level dungeons. That's why we just stack boon duration like maniacs. Yeah, the build, pretty simple stuff. We just want to be able to pump some Alac, can be useful. Alac, as you guys know, kind of like a luxury boon in dungeons. We don't have someone who's providing Alac actively, I mean, dungeons are about short burst windows, so why would we care about cooldowns coming back up quicker, Don't really fucking make sense. So kind of a luxury boon, Alac, but sometimes can be useful, sometimes your thief might ask you, hey, can you give me a little bit of Alac? My portal is like still on a little bit of cooldown. Stuff like this. In those situations, it's nice to be able to give some Alac via the mech, via this template. Have to be careful though, here you share a little bit of stability, which can interfere with chesting. If that doesn't tell you anything, that's fine. We're going to talk about it. Again, we're going to talk about it in the dedicated precast video, I promise. And yeah, Alac, Guardians can also share Alac, so, Okay. Another reason this template is useful if you don't get the other template, the Condi, solo, template, mech, whatever. You have, again, access to Shift Signet, which is a blink, of course, so can be useful, as I mentioned earlier. That's all there's to say about this template. Let's talk about the next template. So again, this is a set of templates, right? Both equipment and build. Let's talk about the next template, which is, guys, can you guess? It's another precast template. Woo! This one right here, just equipment template. Again, full boon duration. Crazy, I know. Mount Balrior relic here. Weapons, doesn't matter. Celerity sigils, that's all that really matters, to be honest. And full boon duration. And yeah, this template is only there. I mean, it's only an equipment template, right? There's not much to it. It's only there for precasting this relic. And again, watch the video if you're interested in that. And if not, you won't need this template. Simple. And now we are almost done. We are almost done. I can't believe it. We finally, I almost made it. One more thing. There is one template that is super niche, and that's this template right here. We use it again in the combination with, our normal power DPS template. And the template is the base engineer, the base Engi template. Again, we use it with the hammer, full berserker, scholar rune, fireworks relic, blah blah blah. The only thing that's new is this build template, obviously, which is the base engineer. So why is this template useful? Well, there's like 1/2 situations in our super optimized tour, that's Omega Triad, I don't know, where this template is useful, because this right here, where my tool belt skills have reduced cooldown, which simply allows me in a certain situation to have grenade barrage, for 2 bosses, for it just comes off cooldown nicer. So would I recommend to anyone to get this template? No, not really. I included this here, because I use it in tour. And I mean, it's pretty chat to play base, to be able to play base Engi, in my opinion, kind of cool. But yeah, not really useful. Wouldn't recommend this, honestly. And on top of us talking about some niche, super niche stuff, what I'm also started doing right now on TA Endboss, obviously you can't crit because it's a structure. And I started playing or changing. I play Holosmith there, obviously. I mean, what do I say? Obviously, if you guys watch the tour, I play Holosmith there. And since we can't crit, we obviously don't need this, so we swap this, and then we just swap in tools, and we play this. And that's what I play on structures, or on this structure specifically, because the firearm straight line is mainly about critting. So yeah, we just swap that out. But I swap that manually, which is pretty. Which is rare for me, as you can see, because I have templates for almost anything. But this right there, is a manual swap I do, and I guess I just wanted to mention that quickly towards the end of the video. Yeah, And that's it, guys. That's the video. That's the templates I use right now. I hope this is insightful. I hope this helped. As I said before, as I said multiple times during the video, I'm gonna make a dedicated video about relic precasting and chesting, you know, precasting quickness. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, check it out. Yeah, besides that, I hope you're happy with this video, bro. I just, as I said before, bro, I tried to record this multiple times. I was never happy. This is just like, fuck it now, you know? Like, this is the video. This goes out. I hope you guys have a great time. I hope you you enjoy some dungeons. You know, if you're not into dungeons yet, as I said before, it's not too late to get into it. It's a lot of fun. We welcome new players. Anyway, guys, take care. Peace. Bye bye.